Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Hannah, and I am part of the team here at Syncro. We've got a dynamic duo today, and I will have this lovely lady introduce herself.
Hey, everybody, it's Tatiana. Welcome.
Welcome, everybody. I hope everybody's had a fantastic week. Here we are at the end of the week, ready to answer your questions. For those of you new joining us today, we are going to use the Q&A for adding in your questions. This next hour is set aside for you to ask Tatiana and I any questions that you have about Syncro. We will, to the best of our ability, answer those questions and share our screen so that we can show you how to set up and configure within Syncro. If the questions are just a little bit too technical, we will recommend that you reach out to technical support. We'll drop their information in the chat box for you so you can reach out to them. So we'll use the Q&A. That way we can keep track of who's going to answer what. We'll actually use the chat just for dropping relevant knowledge base articles, sharing videos, sharing as much as we can for what you are asking to assist just with on your own time being able to reference those. These are recorded and they are put up on our YouTube page. So if we go through things today and you want to reference back to those, you absolutely can. They do get put onto the YouTube page there. And so we'll go ahead and start diving in. Please, when you're ready to go ahead and add in your questions into the Q&A, but we're here for you and super excited to have everybody join us.
First comment is from Chris. He says, "Good day." Good day, Chris. Thanks for being here. We were curious. We know it's a holiday weekend. Everybody's getting ready for going back to school and just kind of, slowing down from the summer. It has been a wild summer here at our household, and I'm sure it's just been super crazy for everybody else as well. So thank you for joining us today. Good day to you, Chris. Chris says, yeah, kids go back to school. I can get work done now. Yeah, exactly. Yes, we're in the same boat. Absolutely. But yes, guys, we appreciate you being here. We're here for the full hour. Our one and only priority. We've literally blocked our calendars. We're not talking to anybody else. We're not answering emails. We are not doing demos on the side over here. You have our full attention. Anything that you're curious about in Syncro, please let us know. That's literally what we are here for, is to help make things as easy as possible for you guys. Since there's no questions, I'm going to launch a quick poll. I'm just curious to see who's here and who's using Syncro. And I would love to learn if you guys are currently already with Syncro and have been with Syncro for a long time. Are you just in an active trial? Are you coming back to Syncro after being gone for a while? Or if you're looking at Syncro for the first time, so I'd appreciate some responses there. That would be super awesome. Okay, first question is from Mark. He says, in the integrated Splashtop, is there a way to show multi-monitors at once opposed to clicking through one at a time? It's kind of annoying to click 3 monitors back and forth for some clients. Yeah, I hear this pretty often. From what I understand, this is a Splashtop functionality. Here, I'll share my screen. Since we have kind of a smaller crowd, usually we have anywhere from like 50, 60, 70. I think a couple times we've had over 80 participants. So obviously today's going to be a little bit slower. We're going to be a little bit slower paced for you guys today, because that's some feedback that we've gotten, is like, hey, you guys are super knowledgeable, but you're zooming around so fast that we can't keep up. So I think today's a good day to test taking a closer look at things kind of in a more slower perspective. So I'm going to share my screen and I'll show you guys what you're talking about. So remote access tool wise, with Splashtop specifically, let me make sure I'm sharing the correct screen. So I'm going to launch into a Splashtop session and it's going to pop up a new window. So give me just a second to find the correct one. I'm also using multi-monitors, so sometimes it just takes a second. So with the toggle back and forth, I think this is the button that you're talking about right here. There isn't a feature that you're missing or a functionality that you're missing that would just let you show all 3 screens like side by side, unfortunately. But the toggle button would be right there. I do hear that request pretty often. Again, we'll pass that along to Splashtop specifically, because I think that's a limitation from the Splashtop side. Oh yeah, Chris says regarding Splashtop, but that was the same deal when I was with Dado. Yeah, I've heard that pretty often.
Darren agrees too. He says the full version of Splashtop does allow this, but the Syncro or the RMM version does not.
Oh, interesting. That makes sense. I'm curious if anybody's used Splashtop as a separate integration with Syncro versus the one that's directly built into Syncro, if that functionality would be available. You know, like a bring your own Splashtop, since that's still available. If any of you guys that are here are using it that way, let us know, because I'm curious if that would make a difference. Okay.
Yeah, I'm just looking into this next one for, excuse me if I'm not pronouncing this right, but Nariza, good morning. Is it possible to arrange the listing of products and services alphabetically for easy tracking? And so I was just taking a look. And so where I am is actually in the admin section. And so if you go under more and then admin, I was taking a look at some inventory preferences to see if that would be a possibility. And so I was just taking a look in the preferences section. And so a lot of times this is where those customizations would be. And then of course, if you haven't clicked into additional settings in a lot of these pages, you will want to do that just so you can see all of the options. And so I am not seeing a way for just a sort order. Now that sort order feature is inside the product itself. And so there is a option inside the product itself to give it a sort order, but doesn't look like that alphabetical is an option at this time.
Thanks for looking into that, Hannah. I have some other follow-ups here. Joseph says, yes, bring your own Splashtop works to show multiple monitors at the same time. So that's super cool to know. I mean, it depends on if that functionality is like as much of a must-have. Then I know some of you guys that bring Splashtop, your own Splashtop as well, use the SOS functionality that is not available through Syncro as well, since like it is an RMM version. Mark says, yeah, that was where it came from, where you could select which monitor based on number or all at once. Was hoping that would be enabled. That's super cool. Yeah, I wish we had that. That feels like a lot of you guys would really want to see that. So I'll definitely pass that along to our team. Again, I don't know if it's a limitation of like the version that we have, if we even have a way to enable that, but I'll definitely pass it along to the team. Craig says we won't be using Splashtop, but want to know if there's a way to change the remote button to RDP that runs under background tools for quicker access, or if we can get Syncro Live re-enabled. Oh, interesting. Okay, let me share my screen. I'll show you. So it should, since we have time, I'll give you guys a 30-second backstory. When we were initially launching with Syncro, we just had Syncro Live, which is this functionality right here. We had like maybe 2 or 3 modules instead of the 1, 2, 3, 8 that we now have here, and remote desktop was here. So this remote desktop is still Syncro Live. RTC and sockets. So if you get a direct connection, it's going to be super quick and zippy for you. If it's relayed, if you're, all of our servers are here in the US, if you're overseas, sometimes it's a little bit slower. So we heard that feedback that you guys were not happy with just Syncro Live. So what we did is we enabled 3 other different remote access options for you to choose from, which is the Screen Connect, TeamViewer, and then bring your own Splashtop. So that was like phase 2. Like phase 1 was just Syncro Live. Phase 2 was then Screen Connect and TeamViewer, and then we added Splashtop. And then you guys were like, no, we don't want to bring our own. We want to just have another option built in. So we Splashtop built in, because obviously remote access is like a huge part of what you guys do. So we did bring Splashtop in. Again, it sounds like the toggle feature is something that you would want to see additionally, and then like the SOS feature is not built into the Syncro version of Splashtop. So if you're not wanting to use Splashtop at all, if you have it disabled via the policy where you're not even deploying Splashtop onto the button right next to it, and again, it's always going to be right next to it. Backgrounding tools versus remote access. There isn't a way to just completely, that I know of, to remove this remote access button completely and just leave the backgrounding tools. But in essence, the backgrounding tools is basically the same thing that includes Syncro Live remote desktop there for you. So hopefully that's helpful, Craig. Let me see if there's any other You make us sound so needy. Oh, Evan, no. You guys aren't needy. Sorry. I did. Hopefully that didn't sound condescending at all. Okay, wink.
Come on, Evan.
Oh, you're
Just
stressing me out. I don't think you guys are needy. I think it's so valuable that you tell us what you want, because we need to hear that so that we can make things better for you so that you're happy and you stay with us forever. So you guys wanted this, you guys wanted that. Geez. No, it's good that you want it because it means that it's important to you in running your business. And we're here to make it as easy as possible, smooth as possible for you to do that. So thank you for thank you for telling us what you need. We're so needy, Jeremy. Yes, thank you for telling us what you need. And we
Are we
pass it along.
saying thank you for being needy?
Yeah, thank you for being needy, but in a good way. I don't know.
Yes.
Awesome.
No, we appreciate you guys so much.
We do.
That is fantastic. Cool. Thank you so much, Tatiana. That was super helpful. I'm going to grab a couple of questions. The first one is from Craig. And so I'm just going to share my screen here. Craig's asking, under customers, is there a way to show all customers on the same page instead of only 25? I would be easier to scroll instead of changing pages. Thank you, Craig, for surfacing that to us. I don't see a way for us to add more number to the number here. In terms of being able to add more than 25, it does look like the pages. You can definitely search for the customer that you're looking for just by kind of typing in the first letter or like continuing to type here. And so this would be kind of the recommendation instead of having to go through each of the pages. But I will definitely pass that along just as a feature request that you would prefer to just scroll through there. Absolutely. Jason is asking, is there a way to have multiple contacts associated to an asset? I have a few situations where multiple users connect to the same device, not at the same time. An ability to do this would be great. Jason, thank you so much for that. That is also a feature request at this time. Right now, only when you're plugging through the specific contacts that are associated to the customer. So this list is coming from the contacts that are set up on the customer page. There can only be one associated. One thing you might be able to do is to create a custom field for that device. I don't know how often your clients are changing users. So I don't know if it's like maybe 1 week it's one of them, the another week another one, or it's like daily. But you might be able to then just create a custom field to denote which common users are on that device. And so that would be my recommendation for you there. Hopefully that helps. And then Terry, thank you so much. This is absolutely why I love doing this, because you guys highlight things that we miss. And so it's awesome for you guys to be able to show it to us. This is referring back to Narisa's question about arranging the products and services alphabetically. So you can actually sort your products by name. And so Terry, thank you so much for that. If you just hit name in the products and services section under all, it is going to alphabetically sort those for you. So that is so cool. Thank you so much for surfacing that.
Awesome, awesome. Really helpful. Thank you so much, Hannah. I have a couple feature requests that I love. I'm going to share my screen and show you guys. So Gary says, feature request when browsing the customer tab would like to list all clients on one page rather than having to click through next button to get to the desired clients. Yes. Yep, I hear you on this one. I think it would be a lot easier to just kind of continuously scroll. I have 113 pages of clients apparently. So yeah, that would be super annoying. So other than searching these, again, mine, obviously there's so many dupes. This is also like a Syncro internal account where we have actually some of our QA team using this dev account to test the things that they're testing that are going to be about to be released, which is sometimes how we spill the beans on these live demo sessions, because we're like, oh, that button doesn't exist probably for everybody else yet. But it was a tip that I have here for you is like, let's say this customer is a past customer and, we let them go for some reason. You could say that you want to archive them as a customer. and then they would just be removed from this list. So it's not like a huge list of every single possible customer you've ever had for the last 25 years. But then you could, if you went into their customer profile, you could archive them. I'm not going to do it because I already have like 4 versions of the same customer. It's not really going to even show. But if you did say like, I want to archive them, it says this record will continue to be accessible under archive customers option. Okay. And then if you go to now the archived, show archived, hopefully it'll be like a little bit of a shorter list for you. This is only 31 customers. Again, I know it doesn't get rid of the page, next page, but maybe it'll just help things stay a little bit organized. And I think you can always unarchive a customer too. Yeah, re-enable. So that was one feature request there. I'll definitely pass that along for you. And then the other one here was time again from Gary says time entry question. I would really like to use the fractional method rather than tracking my minutes. For example, time entry for 5.5 hours would be 5.5 instead of doing the math in minutes. Okay, let's take a look at this. So I'm curious because yeah, I hear this one pretty often too. Because if you're obviously if you're using the ticket timer, it's just using the timer. If you do click view log, there is a way to just like do that, to just use the little dials and then just enter your notes just like this. Or I think the one that you're getting at, which is my personal favorite here in the communication section, is instead of minutes spent to be like 5.5 and then maybe like a drop down menu of hours or something like that. Because yeah, if you're trying to do the math of like 5 times 60 plus 30, 330 minutes, I can see how that could a good move in the right direction for more efficiency. So I hear you, Gary. I'll pass it along. Let's see, I think I grabbed another one. Chris says, this may be a feature request or maybe on the roadmap, but system info area. Are there plans to list connected printers or devices? In my previous RMM, this area would show me installed printers, which saves time when a client calls and says their printer isn't working, then asking them to get the make and model. Oh, interesting. Okay. Let's take a look. So you're saying here within the assets and RMM section, if we click into the endpoint, you would want to see like connected printers in the system information or in the system info section. I definitely can see how that would be useful. So like asset information and then maybe like a separate section here of connected printers. I will definitely pass this along for you. I'm curious if you've tried using a custom field for that, because you can use a link here. So I have 2 options for you. Again, since we have time today and not a million questions in the Q&A, I'm gonna show you some workarounds if you're okay with that. And tell us if we're going too slow, because like I said, that's what we're here for. Sometimes we hear you guys are too fast, slow down, I can't click as. And if workarounds is boring to you, then tell me and we'll just kind of hop from question to question. But I'll show you two that I'm thinking of here. If you want to connect printers, you could technically use a custom field if you haven't thought of that already, to just link it to that asset, the printer to the asset. So I'll show you. If you go to the asset profile, click actions, and then, or I think I clicked edit. Yep. So if you click edit and then click manage asset types, I use the scrolly mouse thing to open new tabs. People have asked me how I do that. That's all I do. And then manage asset types. So we'll open that. And then for me, since it's a Syncro device, I'm going to scroll down. I'm going to find my Syncro device and click manage fields in here. And then in here, I'm going to say add new field. And I'm going to say printer attached or installed or whatever you want to call it. And then you can use a web link, say create asset field. Okay, so now this is gonna, if we refresh this Syncro device, it will now be listed here. Scroll all the way down. Printer attached right there for us. Now if we edit it again, so now I'm gonna open in a new tab my actual printer. Do I have one? I know I have one. Let me find it. Sure. I'm just going to copy paste the actual asset here. And then basically now edit this demo Syncro device and plug into that custom field, which should be at the top, printer attached, paste that here. And then save button is at the top. All right, now fingers crossed this works. Yep, there it is. So now I'm going to open it in a new tab and it'll take me straight to the printer. Again, I don't know if that's useful, if that would be helpful. Jeremy says +1 for that feature request, to just like find what is linked and already have that included. Ooh, Gary says PowerShell get dash printer. Thank you, Gary. Super, super helpful. Yeah. So that would be one option there, or a super quick other thing that I'll just mention really fast before we move on to the next question is if you do have the printer that is being monitored by SNMP, you could always, like, maybe you do this when you're initially building out your customer's profile and you're on site and you're deploying the agents and you're just kind of getting ready to take over their IT. You can always print labels, and then you can design with this. You can now design what this PDF looks like. So you can say printer 1 and just put, not super pretty. I think one of us was editing the settings of this. But you could say like printer 1 front and center, and then your phone number and your website of like, if you need help, call me on here. And then just literally print this and put it on the actual printer. So then when they walk over there and they're like, it's not working, you could be like, can you read the label in the top right corner? And maybe that would be useful to you guys as well. Okay, I'm done. Your turn, Hannah.
That was all amazing. Thank you so much. I love it. Okay, so I'm going to start with this question from Joe. Does the sort order for inventory apply to all, or does it apply to the category? Good question. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up what I have here, and I'm in the products section. So it does look like the sort order can be applied on the all level. I'm going to go back into what this doesn't have a category, so I'm just going to categorize it really quick. So let's just put it into hardware all, and then update our product here. Okay, so we're going to go back into products and services. And so if I had assigned that product a sort order, I can actually then search by sort order, and there are going to be numbers in there. So I assigned it 1. If I go into the hardware section, now it's not like nothing is selected. And so you can see that its sort order is 1. So I could then switch it into its sort order here. So it can either be in all or in the category. So it'll just sort it depending on the number that you associate with it. And so hopefully that is helpful. And then I'm going to grab, there were a couple of other ones. Oh yeah, Gary, I think Tatiana was just showing that printers in a custom field. So that is awesome. Narisa is asking, can you customize the report to be generated before exporting to CSV and show only needed columns? So there's quite a number of reports that are customizable. And so if I go into the report section here, one of those in particular is going to be like the asset audit. I know that a lot of people use this for inventory purposes and other things. And so here in the asset audit, you're going to see a customize button. And in the customize button, you will see those columns that then are customizable. So inside any report, if you see the customize button, definitely hit that. That'll be an option for you to add in the tabs or columns that you're looking for. Since we're in this report also, just know that you can also identify the asset audit by custom search as well. I know that a lot of people kind of miss that. And so that's a really cool feature also. So hopefully that is helpful. And then there's another one. Chris is saying, I think that's a follow-up to yours, Tatiana, where I have worked around it by adding an asset, but would think it should automatically pick this up. Oh, in the system info. Yeah, I hear you there. And then I grabbed one more. So with Gary's asking, is there a way to add variables to a script that requires unique input? Example, I'm wanting to change a username and password through a PowerShell script. I would have to go into the scripts, put in the username and password in, save it, and then go back to the device to run the script. Do you or anyone else know of a way I can build this out to be more efficient? Gary, I wish I was a better scripter. I know that maybe Tatiana, that would be cool. We should tell them we want a scripting class. That would be awesome. But inside creating your scripts, there are variables that you can use. And so while I'm not sure how to exactly write it in there, and I don't know if anybody else wants to chime in, but you can execute runtime variables as well as drop-down variables. So this is where you can edit values or be able to, at least with the runtime variable, get a prompt to then enter in specific information there. Hopefully that helps. If anyone wants to chime in as well, that would be helpful too. Otherwise, I would also talk to support about that to see if they have anything else.
Awesome. Thank you, Hannah. Chris says the linking of the printer will help though. Thanks. You're welcome. Thank you. I really appreciate that feedback because, it is kind of, it takes some getting used to running a live webinar because it's like we are speaking to you guys, but the only way that we hear back from you is questions. So if you're like, hey, that was helpful, or like, hey, that's actually might be useful, or if, when you guys chime in with advice to each other, that is super helpful. I just feel like it helps carry the conversation because your questions do run the conversation. That's what we're here for. So yes, thank you for letting me know. Randy says +1 to the scripting class. Yeah, I feel like we had this, like we keep bringing up that everybody wants a scripting class. I wonder what it's going to take to actually organize one, because we do have kind of an older video that walks through like the depths of the scripting through Syncro, but there have been a lot of edits in regards to if you're using PowerShell as the file type, just in regards to the variables that Hannah just showed. So definitely would be useful. Ooh, this one's interesting. Heidi says there's an local admin account in the community script library where it prompts for the password when you start the script. This could be a good template to use when setting other variables. Let's take a look. Okay, thank you, Heidi. Yes, let's share my screen and we're gonna take a look. Okay, so let's go back. Let me clean up my tabs here and we'll go to scripts. And she says it's to add local admin account. So let me copy paste that. So we're going to go to, scripts, view, community library. I'm opening that in a new tab. I'm going to search. Okay, let's search that. Add local admin. Oh, there it is. Okay. My best tip is always to filter by imports. You can see what's the most popular, what's everybody else using. Add local account, random password. So I'm going to open both of these because I'm curious which one it is going to be. Add local admin account attempts to hide it from logon screen. If they create custom asset field, will populate that field with the username chosen. So I don't think it's that one because you're saying it will prompt them for the password. Creates local admin account on the PC, intends to hide it from logon screens. If you create an asset custom field called local admin PW password, the script will populate the field with the password generated. Running the script regularly will ensure secure local admin passwords. Okay, cool. So yeah, so this would be, so the functionality here would be, again, I just showed you guys like 10 minutes ago how to create that asset custom field, where we first created the asset custom field link, and then we popped the printer link into there. This would be the same functionality there. So you'd go to the asset profile, edit the asset, edit the manage asset type, manage custom fields, and then add just a regular asset custom field called local admin PW, so password. And then, so in here, I'm assuming then, so let's do this, import the script. And in here, when you're using the script variable, again, keep in mind, I'm not a developer, so if I'm doing something wrong, please tell me. But I believe if you use platform as the variable type, this is now going to pre-fill that asset custom field, because this is where you can find that asset custom field. So you can go to asset custom field, and when you have already created that local admin PW, that is going to be listed in here. And then let's pretend that's what it was. It would pre-fill it that way. Super cool, Heidi. Let me know if you have any follow-up to how I described it. Would be happy to share more. Okay, let's see. Other questions. Christopher says, is there a best practice to retire an asset without losing all past data about that asset? This is interesting. You could merge a Syncro device with a manual asset in order to not lose all of your historical data. So I can't do it on mine because we literally only have 3 machines that are online, and if I take mine out, I'm sure the ladies would share with me, but I'm not going to test this live. I'm not going to test this live, but you can test this on like your own test machine. So you could go to your asset here and then create a separate, like maybe you want to call it just a manual asset. So go to assets in RMM, click add new asset. And then if the manual asset type doesn't exist yet here, create one under modify asset types, but you could, here, I'll just take you through it. Click modify asset types, click new asset type, say retired Syncro device. You can be more creative than me. We're taking things a little too literal. Create asset type. Okay, now that retired Syncro device should be listed here alphabetically. Okay, awesome. You can add any custom fields like we already showed you today. But the point is you can then say merge asset. So let me refresh this because now that retired Syncro device could be here. So I can say create from RMM agent customer name is, oh wait, no, we're not creating one. Go back to your Syncro device that you're trying to retire. Click actions, merge. And then right here, here's my asset demo, and destination asset would be you creating that. Is it in this list? You have to create the asset first because we just created the asset type. So let's go back again. So you would say for Larry's business, you would say Larry's business. And instead of creating the RMM installer, you are now going to create that retired Syncro device. Customer name for Larry's business, asset name, retired Tatiana, Syncro device, whatever you want to name it. And then again, if you had any custom fields, this list would be extensive of like whatever else you wanted to fill in. So then create asset. Here's my retired Tatiana Syncro device. So now that first we created the manual asset type. Now we're creating the actual Syncro, retired Syncro manual asset device. And now it will let us merge them. So if we go now back again, refresh this, demo Tatiana, actions, merge. Please be in here. Aha, there it is, retired Tatiana Syncro device. So if I were to click this button, this would remove the Syncro agent from the endpoint, but fingers crossed all of the data would remain. Again, I can't test it because this is my only machine, but let me know if anybody else has tried that before. And also let me know if I'm going too slow in explaining things because we want to value your time and get to all your questions for sure.
Actually, Chris had an awesome comment. He did what you did and it totally worked.
Yay!
So he said merging, I just replaced a machine with a new one and the merge was awesome. So I didn't lose any historical data. I can see this working well with a manual asset too.
There you go. Sweet. Thank you, Chris.
So awesome. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Craig is asking a really great question. Can you explain how the new 2FA security is different than what was already being used before? Yes. So definitely with security and Syncro, that is our number one priority. We want to make sure that you guys are protected. And so we are looking to add additional features just to enhance security. And so just going to pull up my details here. So the biggest difference is that we will now require a new Mfa verification, even if you still have active sessions. So it used to be that if you kept one browser window open with an active Syncro session, it wouldn't reprompt you. Now it will reprompt you regardless of activity or inactivity. And so the default is going to be 30 days. So where you can adjust that down is going to be in the admin section. And so under more, and then under admin, especially if you guys haven't seen these employee settings, we're going to go to there now. So the easiest way I think to get there is in general preferences, that now you're going to have this list and then you'll be able to click into employee settings. So now for that re-verification, you can bring down that time. So again, default in the account is going to be 30 days. If you have already customized this in your account, we didn't change anything. So if you want to lower this, you will need to go in there and lower it. And so then that way you can go down to an hour, 6 hours. So lots of options for you there. And I know a lot of other features are coming to just security enhancements, but this is going to be the specific change that you guys, I think, all got emails about.
Okay, thank you so much, Hannah. I have a update here regarding scripting from Gary and from Heidi. So Gary says, we have a script that creates a random password, updates a user account, and then saves it in the asset custom field. So super helpful there, Gary. I'm not 100% sure which script you're using for that, but I think this was in regards to using the different scripting variables with PowerShell specifically. And same here goes for Heidi. She says, we also use variable type runtime. When I start script, I have a blank field to paste the password in. If I wanted to, you can do the same for username. Super helpful. Again, neither Hannah or I are super proficient with scripting. We understand the functionality of how it works, where to find the button, all the different ways you can run scripts, but we don't write scripts on a daily basis. So this is super helpful. I think the Facebook group, the Syncro community itself, is a really great resource, like just like you guys are sharing with everybody. That's, I mean, how phenomenal is that to help get each other out? So thank you for sharing that. Okay, Randy says there are Syncro ticket templates. Can you go over the usage of a ticket template? So I think for the most part, ticket templates are more used for what you want to show the end user via the customer portal. That's like the first thing that comes to my mind. If you guys are using it for something else, please let me know. So if you go over to the admin section and you go over to your PDF and email templates, going to open that, and I'm a tab person. I'm just going to open everything in a tab. You do have a ticket template here right at the bottom. And this is where you can say basically what it looks like. You can remove the barcode. Some people use this if like you have somebody walking into the store, you can quickly scan the barcode to pull up the information. But again, you can edit the ticket template here. A bunch of different tags. So again, I think the purpose of this is if you wanted to show if you allow your users to access via the customer portal the tickets, this is what that PDF is built from. So let's take a look. If we go over to the customer's profile, Larry's business, I'll show you the customer portal. We'll scroll down, we'll open a ticket, and we'll make sure that the templates match. So here's my ticket. I'll just open this one. Basic ticket information, scroll down. I think the PDF is actually at the top. Yep, click PDF. Yep, and here's that layout. So name, address, whatever that template is. So let's kind of side by side them. Comment history, assets, disclaimer, comment history, assets, disclaimer. Yeah, it's the same one. So if you were needing to, for some reason, email this or just give them access to it or print it or whatever it might be, that's what you would use it for, is what they can see in a more descriptive way than just taking a quick look at what the ticket looks like without clicking into the PDF. The PDF is just going to have way more detail than just this. Hopefully that helps.
Awesome. I'm going to just grab this follow-up question from Craig. He says that helps on the MFA. What other security features are coming? Anything with the mobile app? Craig, I wish they would tell us, but they won't tell us until it's ready and finalized. But I did drop in the chat box just the last line from the email from our Chief Technical Officer. He says, in addition, we do have more coming down the pipeline, such as IP, whitelist, allow list improvements, SAML, and more. So I'm really excited for the and more.
Oh man, absolutely. Yeah, especially I think it's cool that they're prioritizing security. Like this is just another one of those reasons why we don't publish a roadmap, is because of everything that's been going on in the industry. I know that they have pivoted more towards security and being like, okay, we need to make sure everybody's protected. What do we need to do? So I'm excited. I'm also excited for the and more, because it's obviously super important.
Let's get it all.
Yeah.
Awesome. I'm going to grab this question from Paul, and I'm going to share my screen. And I'd actually love to hear those who have joined us today, what they're doing. And so he said, we just started to implement the Syncro calendar in our ticket handling and scheduling. Right now, I have the calendar in Syncro synced to my GTS email address. The two-way sync is working fine. What I want to do is to have all ticket calendar events tied to one calendar and have that calendar synced maybe with a shared calendar so that my techs and I have a calendar that all three of us use when scheduling on-site visits. So when I go in, I see the same events on the same calendar that my techs do. Is the is this the best approach? How do we go about setting that up? Great question. So within Syncro, you can tie in the individual calendars. Now, I have heard of some people tying like a shared calendar that they've created, but you can tie in your individual ones and then use Syncro as your kind of source of truth for all of your appointments. So under your name here, that you're going to have a My Calendars option. And so right in here, you'll be able to link up your calendar. Then within the calendar view, when the team is adding events onto their calendars, you should be able to see them right in here. So this can be kind of the source of truth of, okay, if I want to see what everybody's doing today, that then their events will populate here on the calendar. And so you can do it daily, you can do it by 3 days or by the week, and then you can add in appointments here. And this is the same appointment scheduler that does show up inside the ticket. And so this is the way that it is structured in Syncro. And then that way you can see who is going to have what appointments and when and who is available. I'd love if anybody else could chime in if they were doing something different than this.
Thank you, Hannah. I have a request here from Randy, and Randy, I promise you every time I hear this, I do pass this along to the team. I actually just pinged the specific person that writes our KBs and asked them very directly in front of everybody else. So Randy's question
I'm sorry,
was,
I'm laughing. I love it, Tatiana. That is the best. You're the best.
I know
Randy,
you guys
yeah.
have no idea how much I advocate for you. I'm like, listen, our users like need the tag descriptions. Like there's so many different tags. What are they all used for? That's what Randy asked. He said, is there a library or description in the tags? And I literally tagged the person who writes our KBs and was like in front of everybody, like, hey, can we please get this? So we don't, not because I'm evil, but because I care about you guys and I want your life to be easier. So I'm asking the direct person in front of everybody else, Randy. Please stay tuned. When it's announced, I will I will share. I'll share in open office hours. How about that? Because we see you here pretty often, Randy. Thank you for being here. So this is just too, I'm not going to get in trouble, but it's going to be kind of like, okay, we'll build it. So yeah, you got it.
Yes, we love it.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Jesse is asking, can we link multiple calendars? And so I was just looking through our documentation. I don't believe that you can link multiple calendars to one account. That would be a feature request at this time.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, I haven't read through this one from Randy. He says we are reviewing tier 2, which is previously known as help desk buttons. And I like that idea, but I'm wondering if there's any way in Syncro to cause a script to run on an asset when a ticket is opened from the from the Syncro system tray icon. Ticket open on asset, my computer, run script on asset, my computer. Oh, interesting. This is a little bit more in depth, and I'll share my screen if anybody else already does this and is willing to share with Randy and everybody else here. I would really appreciate it. So what Randy, I don't know, but I'll share to kind of give more context, and we'll see if somebody who's here can help us out. The question is if I'll launch into a remote session and we'll take a look at this together. You're saying if a end user creates a ticket using the system tray icon, I'm guessing the agent contact form. So if they do this, your logo, their information, they say hi and hello. Maybe they want to include a screenshot. I don't know. Send request. You're saying if they click that button and the ticket gets created, you want a way in response to this ticket being created from the system tray icon that includes ticket was opened on asset, my computer, run script on asset computer. Yeah, exactly. He says exactly. I don't know of a way to do that. The only way that I know to trigger scripts is through the automated remediation, which I don't think it can serve as a trigger category. Let's see. I don't think it can. Because we have ticket automations that are separate from automated remediations. And with ticket automations, there's no scripting functionality there. And with the automated remediation, I don't think it can serve as a trigger category, but let's see. So automated remediation condition would be Alert body, no, because it's not generating an alert. Asset name. Be and, so it could be like asset name and something else. Automation is never run. Customer rate limit. Let's check the trigger categories. I don't think it's going to be in here. No, I don't know how to do it, Randy. Sorry. I would ask either the Facebook group, maybe email support. They might be able to do that. That sounds super cool. I guess, can you tell me, Randy, what kind of script you would want to run, and like, what is it, kind of like a troubleshooting script or something like that? Like, once the ticket is open, run a script to check A, B, C, D, E, F, G, something like that. Let me know. Okay, Randy says exactly. Okay. Paul says, in our previous RMM, when remoting into a machine, there was a field that showed whether the user was actively on the machine or not before we logged in. Is there a way we can do this within Syncro? Was actively on the machine or not? The one thing that I can say, like, right out of the box, obviously you get this quick preview screen. Sometimes people aren't happy that this is a little blurry, but that's literally what it's used for, is like if they're like opening tabs, searching Google, whatever, you can see the activity. I don't know if there's like a quick script that you can run that checks activity. There might be one in the community script library that you can take a look at. And I don't know if that would be easier to click, you know, if to go to the endpoint, click run script to check activity instead of just taking a quick preview. I don't know if that would be easier for your process, Paul. If you guys have other ideas, let me know. Okay, I'll stop sharing now.
Thank you so much. That
Yeah.
was awesome.
Yep.
The queue is a little bit low, so thank you so much, everybody, for putting in questions. We have about 15 more minutes, so definitely continue to add in those questions that you have. While there's a little bit of a lull, I am just going to share my screen just to review with everybody, if you haven't seen it, our referral program. And I want to show you something that I learned today, other than the sort for the products and services, which so great. But if you have not joined our referral program, that it is awesome. If you refer a fellow MSP and they come on board with Syncro for more than 60 days as a subscribed member, then not only do you get $100, but they get $100, which is awesome. And so, and in your Syncro account that you can get there in the App Center. And so there is a referral program app card here, where then you can go ahead and sign up for your referral account. It is awesome. It does give you a nice dashboard to manage those referrals, as well as give you a link to go ahead and share with people. Then when your referral clicks your link, that then of course they can go ahead and submit their information, and then that way they can get started. And so it is super awesome. Any terms and conditions are going to be down here in the knowledge base. So I will drop this in the chat box for you guys. And then one other thing that I saw today on a demo, which I didn't realize, which is so cool, is that let's say an alert happens on a device and you're like, okay, hey, I'm checking out these alerts. Super nice and easy to see, okay, who's having the problem? Here's the device name. You could remote in from right here, but you can also run scripts from here, which I didn't realize that magnifying glass, it's right here. And so now if an alert happens and you just want to run a quick script, there we go. It's actually right here, which is so cool. I didn't realize it was right there.
That's awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Hannah. Okay, I have a question in here. Mark, we're not ignoring you. I know it's been sitting in here for a while. We just don't know the answer. So I'll address it by saying we don't know. Regarding the question says, any idea if the ability to push Windows 10 version updates will be coming along? Patching is difficult to do within an RMM. I don't think anybody's like doing it flawlessly. And I know that this is something that you guys ask about all the time. I don't know if there's a script that can do like a version you can run to do a version update, or I don't know how other MSPs are handling this. So I don't have a good answer for you. I'm really sorry about that, Mark. I know our team is, I can't show you guys on our account because I was on a demo the other day and I was like, oh, there's a new button here in the Windows patches. But I think it's something that they're literally just starting to build out. So it's not yet available. But I have all my fingers and toes crossed in regards to version updates and just things to be easier in regards to patching through Syncro. So I'll definitely pass that along to the team again for you. Okay, Jesse says, is there a way to see what tickets or techs are currently working on? Other than looking at the ticket status, there isn't a way to see. I know, like, I've used Zendesk previously to where if you if you hover over the ticket, you can see who else is viewing that ticket. That functionality is pretty cool. We don't have that in Syncro currently, but other than like, you know, some the ticket status saying like actively being worked or whatever, we don't have that functionality yet. And let's see. Michael Mobile Man says TGIF, enjoy the long weekend. Yeah. Yes, thank you. We appreciate it. Yeah, it's been a fun week, but I just realized yesterday that we have Monday off and it was like the best news ever. So thank you.
Craig has a follow-up to Paul's question. How quick does the Syncro refresh? Oh, refresh the thumbnail so you will know if the PC is in use or not. I'm pretty sure I heard it was like every 6 seconds. Is that
Yeah,
right?
it's quick. It's super
Yeah.
quick. Yeah.
It'll be quick there. And then David is asking, how can I reinstall Splashtop if it was manually uninstalled on the client's machine? Great question, David. So a couple things you can do. You can jump inside the policy, and if you have Splashtop enabled inside the policy, resave it. If it's about an individual device, this is something you can also use a script for. So in the, oh, I thought I had it open, but I guess not. So in the scripts community library. Oh, I do have it open. It's over here. That in, if you just enter Splashtop, there should be a couple of redeploy Splashtop or reinstall Splashtop in there for you to utilize on that device.
Okay, sorry, I was kind of reading these and pasting some comments to other people regarding your guys' questions. So in regards to Chris, your question, you say, I assume with Windows 11 around the corner that agents are being tested for it. I would assume so, but I'm checking with our team. I'm not 100% sure what they have in regards to testing or the updates. I'll double check. Jorge, you need to clarify a little bit. He says, can the Syncro agent be installed on a headless server? By that, I mean a Windows core server. As far as I know, as long as it's a Windows machine, whether it's a server or a workstation, the Syncro agent can work on it. So hopefully that answers your question. Let me clear that one out of here. And then I'm just going to grab this one at the top. I know we're kind of getting close. I literally gasped when you said we only have 15 minutes left because I don't know how that flew by so fast. It does every time. That was super quick. Okay, Darren says, how can I change the status of an invoice that was hand delivered, snail mailed by myself or emailed by myself and not by the Syncro platform? I have had some that have been delivered outside of the platform and they always are in the not emailed filter. I do not want to email these few or future ones through the platform. Just hide them from the filter. I don't have a good way for you to do that, Darren, other than you updating. Maybe I don't understand the question correctly. Other than you updating, I mean, could you update in bulk? I guess let me share my screen. Hannah, do you know this one?
Yeah, I think I was looking at that too. Actually, if you want me to share, I can go ahead and share.
Yeah, go for it.
So Darren, I hear you. So I'm seeing that. So right here in the invoices tab, there's like a status button. And so that way you could know if you've emailed out that invoice. But he's saying, hey, I'm not emailing it. I walk it to, so-and-so and they have it. So it's not necessarily paid yet, but the customer has actually received it. So I think he's hoping that there's like a status that would be that they've received that. And so not that I'm seeing, this would be a good question for technical support as well. Because when I go into actions, there's not really like a way for you to notate that to see that in the status option. You could, kind of I was trying to think if there's some notes. So there isn't a notes field that you could designate that, but I think you're wanting it inside this filter option. And so right now that would be a feature request, but I'll absolutely pass that along because I think that would be super useful.
I wonder, I've never looked at this. Sorry to put you on the spot, Hannah. Is there a way to add custom invoice statuses at all, like you can with ticket custom statuses and things like that? And can you update in bulk to like an already sent type of a status? Do you know?
I am looking right now. Let's just look together really quick. So I didn't see kind of any updates of statuses here. And so let's just head over to the admin section together.
Yeah.
And then head into invoices and then preferences. Just see if there's a way to add in different statuses. It doesn't look like it, but that's a good idea. I feel like that would be awesome to have.
Yeah.
And so I can definitely pass that along.
I guess, is there a reason that you don't want to use the built-in Syncro ones since they're available? Like, is there a functionality that's missing for you? Like either an integration with your current accounting platform, Darren, or something else? Please let us know.
I think it's like if you print out the invoice and then you give it to somebody, there's no way to say that you gave it to somebody.
Oh,
Because right now we just have like email in our filter, it's just emailed versus not emailed.
makes sense. Okay, makes sense. Yeah, that totally makes sense. Okay. Okay, we're gonna try to fly through these. We have 4 minutes left, so some of these are just kind of feedback from you guys, so super appreciate it. Heidi says, yes, it can be installed on Windows core server using command line. So thank you so much, Heidi. Darren also says we have a Syncro installed on a Windows core server. That's awesome. Jorge says, yeah, Windows core server, perfect. No graphical desktop. Yep, sounds like people are doing it already. Okay. Mega Moment Man says, any advice for those who might be looking to add a customer service portal feature for our customers, like do's and don'ts? Moreover, is there a way to set a cutoff date for how far back tickets can be reviewed? I love this. Let us know. Do you guys want us to do a deep dive on customer portals? Because we don't like set up how to set it up, do's and don'ts. For sure, there is not a way to do a cutoff date of how back tickets can be reviewed. I can pass along that request, but if that would be useful, we don't have time to do it today, but we can put that in on the calendar for another open office hours to like do a deep dive of the customer portal if that's useful. Because I feel like a lot of people like, hey, this is what it looks like for a fresh brand new customer, how to set them up, what emails they receive. Oh yeah, look at this. Heidi says +1 customer portals deep dive. Absolutely would appreciate. Okay. Randy says, yes, really want to cut off invoices and tickets. Yeah, okay, we hear you. Okay. I'll let Crystal know. And we'll put it on the calendar. We'll do like everything A through Z for the customer portal. Makes sense. Okay, 3 minutes. Randy says, example, if somebody submits a ticket to an asset, would be nice to be able to do a cleanup using TechSuite or any other number of actions in order to dump any of the issues into the excellent amount of days and attach it. I love that, Randy. Okay. Hundo P, I hear you. That sounds super cool. That makes sense. This is in regards to creating a ticket using creating a ticket via the system tray icon from the customer's perspective and then running a script automatically in response to that. So makes complete sense to me. I'm going to pass it along to the team. Okay, Randy says +1 for ticket status to see who's working on it. Would love to see in and out board so you can see who's clocked in and what tickets they are working on. We do have a ticket timer, or not a ticket timer, a clock in, clock out feature through Syncro, Randy. With the ticket status, you can set a custom ticket status to say actively working over in the admin ticket preferences, edit ticket statuses section. So for sure, check that out. What sense does support get from those in community allowing customer portal services? That would be a good question for the Facebook group of like how much everybody likes the customer portal. I feel like a lot of people do use it. Exactly. Very cool. Okay. Hannah, you wanted, sorry, I was like grabbing.
No, you're good. You're rocking and rolling. I love it. No, you're all good. Paul's just saying, I put a feature request in last year asking if we can get the ability to edit private notes. Right now, if we are using a private note for say like a list of devices and have to create a new private note with the updated info, then delete the old. Any thoughts if that might happen? Paul, I think that's still a feature request. We will just add that along that you are continuing to ask for that. That would be a really cool feature just to kind of bulk update there or just update that existing note for sure.
Yeah, I almost wonder if it's like not a not ethical, what's the right word? I don't know what the right word is, of like making sure that your tech is actually doing what they're saying doing at that specific time. So like editing the time or when it was done or deleting it is like, I don't know if it's like I know it's not ethical is not the right word, but like conceptual maybe of like how you prefer to run. Maybe that can be like a global admin setting of if you want to enable the ability to do that or disable, and then people can choose if they want to allow that. So yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Deep dive customer portal. Okay, we hear you guys. Yep. Yeah,
Cool.
I love that.
Yes.
Would be nice to be able to not show in old invoices or tickets via the portal. Yeah, look at these portal requests. Okay. Yep. Chris says +1 to the private notes. Okay. Keep up the awesome open office hours. Oh, thank you for being here, you guys. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. Thank you for showing up. This means a lot. This is super fun for us to talk to you guys. It really is. We really appreciate it. It's that time though. What do you think,
It
Hannah?
is. It's that time, you guys. All
Yeah.
right. Thank you guys so much for joining us today. We had the dynamic duo here, and we're looking forward to seeing you next week. And everybody have an awesome weekend.
Yeah. Get some rest. Don't work too hard. We'll see you guys next week. Bye,
Bye.
guys.